Hello my beautiful geeks, how is everybody doing today? Welcome to the Geek Fortress, and you saw that correctly. Today we're going to discuss both the Xbox X, Series X and S, and I think that's what they're called, and the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 digital only edition, I guess we're gonna call it. With that said, if you do watch this video and you enjoy it, please don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. So let's go right into the discussion. For starters, I'm just gonna kind of give you a backstory about me and my gaming career. I have always been a PlayStation guy. I grew up with PlayStation. I matured with PlayStation. I was a kid. Yes, of course, I started with Nintendo, like I think most people my age did. But PlayStation always held a special place in my heart. The PlayStation 1, or PlayStation at the time, was the first console that I ever got. Well, somebody got it for me, but it was like the first console that I had that I opened and I took out of a box. I was born in Ecuador, so we did not have a lot of money at the time. Thankfully, one of my uncles, he had promised me that he was gonna get me one if I got good grades, and then he did. And the rest is history. I started playing the PlayStation 1 and it just blew my mind away. I used to play a lot of Winning Eleven. I used to play a lot of the Toy Story 2 game with Buzz Lightyear. That was one of my favorite games ever. The WWF game, SmackDown 2, all of those were my jam. My first console ever was a Nintendo, and I'm talking about the NES, but it was a handout that somebody gave to me because they had gotten a Super Nintendo at the time, and then they did not want that anymore. I never owned a Super Nintendo. I went straight from the Nintendo to the PS1. I did own a lot of those little like fake Nintendo type things that kind of looked like a keyboard. I remember I had one that looked like a keyboard where you could put cartridges in, and they had like 10,000 games in one, but it was just like the same game repeated 1,000 times each. So yeah, so Nintendo, yes, holds a special place in my heart, but PlayStation is what I grew up with mostly and what I mature with, like I said. I'm not gonna get into specs about which one has the highest numbers and everything, because I'm gonna put it right off the bat. Yes, it looks like the Xbox Series X has the better specs. Let me just say that right off the bat. I'm saying it, boom, out of the way. The Xbox Series X, it's obviously gonna have arguably the better graphics, but I do not think that that is enough when it comes to deciding the best console to go with. As of today, September 17th, 2020, at the time of me filming this video, yesterday PlayStation announced the price of the Xbox, Sony announced the price of the PlayStation 5. Now, this right here is the price comparison. As you can see, they both have a digital and a physical version. The digital version of the PlayStation being, of course, basically the same exact thing, just minus the drive. And then you have the one for the Xbox, which is not the exact same thing. You're kind of getting an entry-level type of system with the Series X. So it is going to be a smaller unit. It's going to have smaller specs, I believe, but it's not exactly going to be the same console, just like PlayStation is doing. So right there on its own, it's already a huge point towards PlayStation. Now, let me be straight, just because I love Sony does not mean that I hate Microsoft, because some of the best games that I've played in an Xbox. I love the Fable series, and I love Alan Wake. Those are two of the best games, and those are probably the two games why I'm gonna end up getting a new Xbox for. When we got that PlayStation Direct yesterday though, I think PlayStation just threw everything out of the park. They showed everything that we're gonna get on day one. If you are a PlayStation Plus member, you are going to get a whole bunch of beautiful classics from the PlayStation 4 that you can play right away. Based on things that I have read, I'm not 100% sure about this, so do not quote me on this. It seems like it might be included with PlayStation Plus. It seems like you're not gonna have to pay extra for this. As long as you have PlayStation Plus, it looks like you're gonna get it. And that right there, I think just gave PlayStation a huge advantage. Granted, yes, Xbox has the Game Pass and all of that stuff, yes, But there's just something about the Xbox that has never caught my eyes. I personally do not like the interface. I know a lot of you guys probably disagree with me, but I enjoy the PS4 interface a lot better. The PS3 interface was a little meh, and then Sony did have the cojones to try to charge $600 for that unit back in the day, which sadly I think I would have paid at the time. I didn't have a job back then, so I couldn't afford it myself. But when I was able to get my first PS3, which was, I believe, the 80 gig or the 40 gig, I don't remember, it's been too long. That one doesn't work anymore, but I still have it because it's the first PlayStation that I bought with my own money, work, sweat, buy. I went to Circuit City. Yes, that's right. I went to Circuit City. You can Google it if you don't know where that is. And I picked up my PlayStation 3. They had them on display right behind the counter. And I go up to the guy and I was like, I want that one right there. It was such a good feeling. I loved it. And I knew a lot of people who had jumped ship from PlayStation to Xbox because of the mistake that Sony did of pricing it so high on release date. My wife actually was an Xbox person, but she had been a PlayStation person all her life. Thankfully, enter me, I got her right back into the PlayStation wagon. You're welcome, honey. Which I get. All of her friends were getting an Xbox, so I guess in a way peer pressure made you get an Xbox, but I did not fall for that. I waited and I got the PlayStation 3. I don't think I paid the $600 because I think the 40 gig was only like 3 or 4 by the time that I bought it. I have a horrible memory, but I remember getting it and feeling good about it. With that said, when I met my wife, she did have an Xbox. I play with the Xbox. I love the controller of the Xbox. It's very comfortable. I do enjoy it a lot. Excellent for shooters. Fantastic, no complaints. The fact that you still need a battery, though, 2 batteries in 2020, I don't know how I feel about that. Yes, you can buy the battery packs and you can charge them that way, but why not make it something that comes out with it on day one? And that's something that Sony has had since the PlayStation 3. Yes, the PlayStation 2 had that wireless controller that needed a battery, but that was not the main selling point of the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2 was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful system that a lot of people still have them to this day, myself included. So even though the graphics on the Xbox Series X might be a little better just because of 2 numbers, I think one is 10, the other one is 12 when it comes to one of the numbers, I still think that Sony is winning this by the long run. Just because, number one, PlayStation has so many amazing exclusives. And after watching that Direct and seeing that the new God of War is coming out, plus Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and all these other goodies, and all the stuff that you're gonna get with PlayStation Plus, and Final Fantasy 16, and so much. Oh my god, I could cry right now. But I won't, but I could. Let the record show that I could. I did get an Xbox One eventually, and I'll be honest with you guys, I had it, and I barely touched it. I'm not a huge first-person shooter guy, so Halo was never one of those things that made me go, ooh. Yes, I thought that it was a cool game, and I did play it, but it was never that game that I would die for, or whatever. It was just there. I never got Halo. Gears of War, yes, amazing game. I loved it. And like I mentioned before, Fable, and of course, Alan Wake, which was a fantastic game, which I'm hoping we get a sequel now in the next gen, and it's gonna be hopefully a fantastic and beautiful sequel. And like I said, I never really touched it, so I ended up trading it in. Yeah, I traded it in, and I believe I ended up putting that money towards the purchase of my PlayStation 4 Pro, which was the Spider-Man one. It was the one that comes with the giant red spider, and that is the one that I ended up trading it for. And yeah, Xbox kind of messed up with the Xbox One when at first they said that they were gonna make games lockable, that you could not let your friends borrow it, and that you needed an online connection all the time, blah 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 blah. They've had the red ring of death, etc etc, but doesn't mean that Sony hasn't had downs either. Like I mentioned before, they had the huge price thing with the PlayStation 3, they had issue with the charger before, and they had huge flops like the PSP Vita and the PSP Portable, the one that was digital only. It did not sell too well in this market. Even though it was great in the Japanese market, not so good right here. And they just made something horrible because they were supposed to release the pre-orders today, and then all the retailers ended up releasing them yesterday, and they kind of did not give enough time for people to pre-order them. And Microsoft right away took a shot and they were like, don't worry guys, we're gonna give you plenty of time so you know when the pre-orders are gonna go live. So right there, Sony lost a lot of points, and I admit that. And I love PlayStation, and I admit that. With all of that said, all of that rant, and all the backstory that now that I've told you about me and PlayStation and loving PlayStation, yes, I will get an Xbox One, an Xbox Series X eventually, maybe, but I am gonna go with the PlayStation 5 right away. Yes, maybe nostalgia has a little to do with it, but also other factors attack it as well, such as the better exclusives. And honestly, I like the graphics already on the PS4. If PS5 does anything just a little better, and like no load times, and now we're finally gonna have a 4K drive. That's another reason why I got the drive copy, because I want to be able to play 4Ks, because for some stupid reason the PS4 does not play 4Ks. It streams in 4K, but it doesn't play 4Ks. It's going to be a very hard competition. One of them comes out just a few days before. I believe the Xbox Series X is what, the 10th, and then the the PS5 is on the 12th of November. So right there, they're gonna go toe to toe, and probably at the end, in a couple of weeks after that, in Black Friday, they're probably going to have a sale with a bundle or something like that. And yes, the games for the PS5 are going to be a little more expensive. They're going to range between $49.99 and $69.99. And I guess I get it. Unfortunately, some of the things we like to support as geeks, they're expensive. Same thing with anime, you know? Anime is so expensive because it's so hard to make. You got to pay the actors and everything. And same thing with video games. You make something amazing, you have to give back somehow, you know? But I'm sure we're going to have sales and such. And I'm excited. I'm really excited about this new gen of gaming. After watching all of this directs and everything, even like Nintendo, I know this is not a Nintendo video, but when I watched the release trailer for the Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which hopefully I'm getting tomorrow, and I should be streaming also, cheap plug, I am very excited. It's a great time to be a gamer. And the message that I just want to throw out there is, don't fight over which system is better. I'm gonna end up getting both eventually, not right away, because one, I'm not gonna have the money, and two, they're probably gonna be sold out like crazy. And maybe I'll be lucky if I get one of them by Christmas, hopefully, but I don't know. It's gonna be tough. Don't fight over which one is better. We're all gamers. Let's coexist as one. It doesn't matter if you have an Xbox or you have a PS4, if you have a Switch or whatever. So many games now are crossplay. One of the games that I play the most, Dead by Daylight, now you can play with PC, you can play with Switch, you can play with Xbox, etc, etc, etc. And same thing with Rocket League. You can play now with a lot of people. So coexist, don't divide, don't be calling people names in forums or anything like that. And just have fun. We're all gamers. Let's just enjoy this time. It's a beautiful time to be alive. It's a beautiful time to be a gamer, okay? Yes, and yes, PlayStation is my favorite personally, but I'm not gonna say Xbox sucks. No. Xbox is also a really good fracking system. Coexist, love each other, there's enough separation in the world. Let's show that we're better than that. So, and same thing, if you're trying to go online and buy 6 systems so you can sell 5 and keep one of them, don't do that. Stop being toxic, people. Give other people the chance to get a system for their kids or for themselves. We are big kids, and you know that. We love this thing. So let's give other people a chance. Stop scalping. Stop freaking using bots. Come on. Come on. How dirty are you? You're the kind of people who disconnects from a match online when you're losing. You know exactly who you are. I hope that hopefully this message got out to some of you guys. And now that you guys know that I'm going to get the PS5, let me know in the comment section below which system are you going to get. Are you going to try for day one? Are you going to wait for maybe the next holiday season? Are you going to see if you can get something on Black Friday? Are you going to save your money and see if you can get both? Or are you just going to get the Xbox? Are you going to get the digital? Are you going to get the physical? Whatever it is, let me know in the comment section below. As per usual, guys, you guys have been awesome. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and turn on that notification bell if you guys have enjoyed this video and I have gotten your attention. Until the next time, guys, I have been your boy Lewis. You guys have been awesome. Do me a favor, guys. Stay awesome and geek on. Until the next time, your boy Lewis. with hopefully his future PS5 saying, "Game on, brothers and sisters, and remember, coexist." Bye.